Hey, welcome to TFTC with yours truly here. I have a really special guest across the pond. She does a lot of great jazz music. And I was just so fascinated just listening to this album the other night. And it's really awesome. Enjoyed this conversation. We are going to let Louise Golbey in.
I'm in my little recording booth, so I it is pretty much a cupboard, but it does look like one. But I've got my little sign. There you
There you go. Gosh.
go.
I'm telling you, most people who I've had, and you probably experienced this too as a podcaster, it's like people just have, they don't have good mics. They don't have a good setup. It's like I can barely hear some people sometimes.
Yeah, no, I obviously we're recording through Zoom, but I have got a proper mic here and stuff that I
Yeah,
record
it's
through. So
awesome.
yeah,
So appreciate that.
thank you. No worries.
Yeah. So how is it going over there? And are you in London proper, somewhere else this morning or afternoon for
Um,
you?
yeah, it's afternoon, and yeah, I'm in London, North London. So, what about yourself?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia, US. So it's,
Oh,
yeah, we're in the morning at this very moment. And yeah, it's a beautiful day. We're about ready to experience a lot of heat this summer, I'm sure. They don't call it Hot Atlanta for nothing. It's just awful. It could be very oppressive. It's been very dry, and we've had
mm.
wildfires to the south of us, way to the south of us. It just gets so
Oh,
dry here just like it does out in Los Angeles too. That's kind of an
mm.
area. It just can get so bad. So always need the rain for sure. Which you,
Yeah. Well, did have nice weather, and then it went really cold yesterday, and
oh
now
my
it's going to
gosh.
rain. So annoying. But anyway, it's all good. It's
Yeah,
the
it's all
UK.
right. That's how you keep your spirits up by doing music, and it's something that you were born into. That's just from a very young age. That's what you really pretty much got into by having your family really get into it.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely grew up in a musical household. I mean, I was the first person. I'm the first person in my family to kind of pursue it professionally. Although, having said that, my grandpa was a classical violinist back in the day. And yeah, so that obviously different side of the music industry, but I definitely got my musical talents from my family, both sides.
Yeah, apple doesn't fall far from the tree when it just
Exactly.
comes more naturally to you. So, did you get into doing actual formal lessons or you just played by ear and just picked up your muse that way?
Um, a bit of both, really. I had some piano lessons when I was younger, and mum and dad always had a piano at home, and my dad played guitar a bit. But I think I did the minimal kind of amounts of grades, but I still write using the piano sometimes, but I'm just not good enough to play live. So I very much use it more as a writing tool. But then a lot of it's by ear, absolutely, because I can't remember how to read music anymore, so it's very much by ear.
Yeah, it seems like most people who I speak with in the music industry, it's like, I don't know how to read music. That's just so technical. It's just total respect for those who could do that. Like, wow, it's like learning Mandarin or something like that. It's like, how do you do it? So it's
Yeah.
just fascinating. Well, everybody who is in the music industry who performs like you do, it's just so fascinating. It's like you're like magicians. It's like, how do you do that? How did you learn to sing that way? So who were like some of your big inspirations? I feel like there's so much Diana Ross in there. I was listening to your album last
Oh,
night. I just feel
I,
so much Diana Ross in there. Who I love, adore. I mean, my God. It's
so I've never had that before. I
yeah, I
like
just
that
hear
though.
that. I mean, all
I'm happy
throughout
with that.
your yeah, I mean, I know nobody's trying to rip anybody off here. It's just kind of evoking that with you. A little bit of Diana Ross and a little bit of Basha, who I got into in the early 90s. I remember it felt so like comforting to hear a voice like that. And it kind of
Oh,
evoked
thank
that
you.
as yeah. I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
Um, I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of R&B and hip hop and stuff, and then, funnily enough, my mum's old Motown records, which is quite funny that you said Diana Ross, but
Yeah.
not when I started writing. It was mainly kind of neo soul direction that I realized I'd like found what sound I wanted. Because yeah, I started writing music and then collaborating with producers, and I was really into Jill Scott, Erica Badu, D'Angelo, and I felt like it really fitted what I did because I love like soulful melodies and harmonies, but also really good grooves and beats and bass lines. So it felt like a good way for me to showcase my songs. And I worked with a producer. The first album I did was with a really renowned producer who'd worked with a lot of R&B and hip hop people. So it just was a good fit. And yeah.
So, and getting into the music industry, did you start like really young getting into that, like actually first started recording, or that just didn't come until way later till you were out of school and just started to record?
Yeah, I mean, I used to do a lot of like dancing and musical theatre and shows during outside of school. So I was on the stage, but in a completely different kind of format. I started writing probably when I was a late teen, and didn't really pursue it till like kind of uni time after uni. But it's really hard. It's like such a vulnerable thing, like singing your own music for the first time in front of people, even though I had experience performing. It's just a different thing, isn't it? Because it's like you don't know if a song's any good until someone else hears it, I think. Well, I mean, I've got a better idea of whether I've written a better song or not just from years of experience of songwriting, but at the same time, it's still a bit like, playing someone a demo for the first time is quite scary because yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. I mean, it's kind of like your baby, and you're like, can you just accept what I'm doing here? Is it just like, is this good enough? And yeah, it's got to be a very nerve-wracking feeling. So getting into writing lyrics, did you start doing that very young when you were going to school?
Probably a bit, yeah, a little bit. I was quite into kind of writing my ideas and thoughts down, and I did like it's funny because I often often write from experience. So sometimes when I'm working on new material, for example, sometimes I get sent instrumentals that I kind of write top line over, or even just writing from scratch. I'll often go back to old lyrics or poems that I've written just to spark some ideas, or think, oh, maybe that, because I was feeling that at a time, maybe I can spark another thing off that, or there's a phrase or something that I've written down that I thought was cool. So yeah, it's kind of never wasted, but it's almost like retrospective
Yeah.
lyrics. But it depends really. Sometimes a song, you just kind of the lyrics just come out as you're feeling in the moment. Really
Yeah.
depends. Yeah.
So back in the day, how did you jot down your lyrics? Did you have the technology to just either go to your PC or a phone or just go to a notebook and then even today, something comes to you, do you just quickly go like, yeah, I got it. And then you got to
Yeah.
record it somehow.
Well, exactly. I definitely write loads of stuff on my notes on my phone, but I think when I was a bit younger, I have got, I don't know if I've still got them, like little notebooks where I'd
Yeah.
write little poems and things. Um, but when it comes to like a melody idea, if it's one of the, I don't know if you have this, but like sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll have this idea and I'm thinking, oh, I'll remember that. It's good, it's catchy,
Yeah.
I'll remember it. And then I don't record it because it's in the middle of the night and I don't want to wake up my boyfriend or whatever. But then obviously I don't remember it in the morning. So the key is always record any idea you have as soon as you can, even if you wake everyone up.
If you have to, you have to. This is the
Yeah.
career, It's if you have a wonderful idea, you don't want to lose that. That's
Exactly.
so true. Yeah. And it's just fascinating because like when they become artifacts too. Like you see
Mm,
this at the museums like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. It's just they have old notebooks there. It's just like so fascinating to see how like, legacy artists would scribble stuff down back in the day. It was just fascinating and very
yeah.
mad how they do it too. Yeah, line through this, rewrite it here. It's fascinating to see that process.
Um, so funnily enough, yesterday I was at you must have heard of PRS. They're the Royalties Society
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
UK, like your ASCAP, or I think there's another. But anyway, I was at their members' day yesterday, and they had actually a songwriter that I have interviewed on my podcast, Egg White, and he wrote
Mm.
Adele's first big song, and he's
Oh,
worked with all
cool.
sorts of people. And another songwriter who's also done a different song with Adele, funnily enough. Anyway, they were in conversation. It was like a panel thing. And Dan Wilson, who wrote Someone Like You with Adele, one of her big
Yeah, yeah.
comeback songs.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he was
amazing.
saying that apparently they had 2 days in the recording studio, and the first day they started Someone Like You, and he wasn't really sure if it was going anywhere because he didn't. He's got that kind of, he doesn't really think his songs, like, I don't know, that it's almost like imposter syndrome, isn't it? And especially when you're in a room with Adele, you're probably like, oh gosh, does she think my voice is
Right,
rubbish
yeah.
or whatever?
Am I good enough? Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently, the next day they went into session and he said, "Oh, do you want to carry on with the idea we did yesterday, or should we start a new song?" And she was like,
Mm,
and she said that she'd played it to her mum, and her mum, the demo to her mum and her manager, and her mum cried, and she was like, "I want to carry on with this song." So can you imagine if they'd like not done that, and then
yeah.
that song wouldn't have been made? But I'm sure they would have written another better, good song. But so
Yeah.
weird, isn't it? Like just one person's decision could change the the existence of a masterpiece. Or yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
cool.
amazing how that comes along. Yeah. I mean, Adele's is a happy accident. It's just unbelievable how she's climbed onto the charts and just, oh, that voice. It's just like, how do you even do that and sustain it for as
Mm,
many years too? I mean, you got to take care of it. Probably got to insure your voice too. I'm sure she has it insured. Which it should
yeah.
be. But yeah, wow. Yeah. It's just fascinating. So growing up, so people like that, lyric wise and musically, people like that were inspiring you. Is that what you listened to in addition to your Motown? Did you hear a
Um,
lot of stuff on BBC and places like
yeah,
that?
I'd say, to be honest, I was already kind of writing and gigging when Adele kind of came out. I
Yeah.
did actually, I was reminded that I used to do some gigs on the same circuit as her, and I think we did do a gig together once a long, long time ago
Yeah. Those
before she got
paths do
signed.
cross. You're in that
Yeah,
society.
well, exactly, and it's really nice because I think you're always one step away from that, and I like that because I feel like it means like moving in the right circles, around the right people, and everyone does those gigs when they're starting out. So yeah, it's nice.
Especially, and where you grew up, is that like well outside of London? Is Bournemouth? Is that what it is? Where
Yeah,
you?
well, I was born in London actually. I was born in London, but
Oh,
my parents moved to Bournemouth when I was really little because they used to go on holiday there because it's by the sea. It's very nice,
I bet it's
very
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've been back in London as an adult for a lot longer now, and I have done some gigs in Bournemouth. And funnily enough, I did a gig in Bournemouth the other weekend. But my experience of gigging is pretty much London based, really,
Yeah, it's
and
where
that's
the
where the
action.
opportunities are.
Oh, for sure.
So
For
yeah.
sure. Wow, yeah, I did was there years ago. I did a Beatles tour. This guy,
Ooh.
walked us around where all the haunts were and where Apple Records was at that time. And it's so funny because people were like yelling at the guy like, "Shut up." It's like trying to show us around town and
Oh yeah,
Londoners are so funny.
yeah. They hate people in big crowds and taking up pavement space. Or
Right. It's such a blast. There was so many years ago, but it was
oh,
really a sweet guy too. He was just carrying out, he had a boom box and he's, blasting Beatles too. So
well,
it
that
was like
sounds fun.
good time there. Great city. Oh my gosh, what a great city. And doing pub crawls.
Oh yeah,
Love visiting. Yeah, what a great net.
yeah. It is a great place, and in the summer it really comes alive. Like the sun. I don't know if it's like that in Atlanta. Do you have cold winters, or is it always quite mild there?
Oh, it's cold for maybe 6, 8 weeks tops. And
Oh,
once
okay.
in a blue moon we get a little bit of snow, but in some freezing temperatures, it goes so fast. It's a
Mm.
small part of the year here in Atlanta.
But yeah, when the sun comes out in London, yeah, everyone wants to be outside. There's so many terraces and pub gardens, and it's just, yeah, it feels like a bit of and loads of events, outdoor events, free events. So it's just a really nice, creative place to be around. There's always something to do, and sometimes there's too much to do, and you have to choose.
Oh, that's so true. That really
Yeah.
is. I'm sure, yeah, when you see sun, it's like, oh my gosh. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and it wasn't very sunny there either, the north coast of Ohio. But here in
Um,
Atlanta, it's just like too much sun. It's very strong here, actually.
I'd love to come to Atlanta because quite a few artists that I really like in the neo soul world are from Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
And I actually I did a gig supporting Anthony David. I don't know if you know him. I'm sure he's from Atlanta. And
Huh.
there's Eric Roberson. There's just quite a lot of really good R&B and obviously Usher is from Atlanta.
Yes, now I've seen Usher. Yeah, my day job, I work in television, and he came in, and it's
Ah,
like a lot shorter than I thought, actually. But yeah,
they always are. They always are.
yeah, really, really, but just a very well built and great looking guy, like for sure. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
talent
famous.
down this way. Yeah,
I don't know. A lot of famous people are always a lot shorter, but I guess they just look tall on screen rather.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I would have expected to be like over 6 feet. It's like wow, like I'm towering over you. Amazing. So. Being in London, you've played at the O2 Arena, which I don't know if it was there when I was visiting, but yeah, that's got to be quite the venue to be performing in.
Yeah. I mean, that was an amazing opportunity. I played at this, there's a smaller venue within the complex called the Indigo 2, which I played a couple of times when I supported Roberta Flack
Oh yeah, I saw
and
her
on
years ago.
Vogue. Oh,
Yeah.
she was, I mean, rest in peace. Like she was amazing and so lovely
Yeah.
to me. Um, but yeah, when I got the email about this O2 Arena one, I thought, oh, we'll be playing in a different part of the building, like because I'd done a thing called Blues Fest there where they had stages all over, like one in the
Hmm.
foyer, blah, 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 as well as like the main arena. And then we got the stage plan, and I realized we were actually going to be on the stage in the actual O2 Arena. Um, it was so crazy. And we had, well, firstly, so lucky that happened when it did, because it happened in 2019. So, you
Before
know how a lot of
COVID.
events that then got cancelled, probably I feel like that might not have got rescheduled because there were so many people involved because there was a lot of headliners. There was Cool and the Gang. Uh, now I can't remember. That's really good, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, part
Brand
of
New
the
Heavies. There was basically a lot of acts. So imagine trying to rearrange that, reschedule it. And so I was just so grateful it was when it was because I think it would have been so disappointing if it had got cancelled and that was that, you know. Um, But also it was really nerve-wracking because we also barely had a sound check because there was so much, going on. And I was like, "Oh, this is the biggest gig of my life and we can't even properly sound check." So it made me really nervous,
I would
like
be.
obviously the sound people know exactly what they're doing, but it's kind of
Yeah.
a comfort thing when you've done a good sound check and you're gonna feel good on stage and you're gonna be able to hear it yourself but it went really well and yeah, really proud of that.
Yeah, all under the wire before COVID, which, my whole podcast, which I started during COVID, it was like the whole thing is that so many artists I felt so bad because gigs had to be canceled. The only way they could do that is like to charge to do a show on Facebook or whatever and just like try to do it that way.
Yeah,
But yeah, I felt terrible, terrible, terrible. I mean, people who play coffee houses, that's their bread and butter. And just to see that was just so depressing. I didn't know, I didn't
yeah.
really think that there was light at the end of that tunnel either. It just felt like it was going to be forever.
Well, every time they kept the lockdowns happening or did another one, it did feel like it was never gonna. It was crazy. I remember I got booked to sing at a wedding and they kept changing the rules of how many people could be at the wedding.
Oh
And
gosh.
then at one point they were like, okay, yeah, the wedding's only gonna have 12 people. And it was at this
Mm.
amazing venue. And obviously the venue couldn't afford to like cancel it or give them a cancellation fee. So they went ahead with the wedding. And then I had to sing behind a screen. Even
Behind the
though
screen.
they were, like, way the other end of the thing, they weren't allowed to dance, it was just so weird.
Could have been like the masked singer, it's like,
Yeah. Oh, it's
God.
ridiculous.
Oh, it was so horrible. I really couldn't stand the masks. It was like just to work on production projects, and if somebody wanted to sit in the room with you, you had to put a mask. Couldn't breathe. It was just horrible.
Oh,
Cannot stand. I'm so glad we got through that. Hopefully
yeah.
never again. At least
I know,
ever,
touch wood, touch
ever.
wood. Yes.
Not even from
I don't
people in the
think people
future.
would be as, what's the word? Willing to, like, stick
Yeah,
to the rules, to be honest, because
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it
It
just felt like a
wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't too bad here in Georgia because, like in a lot of other states, we're like really serious lockdown. And we actually, like, by May of 2020, I was able to go to restaurants here. They
Oh
had
yeah.
partitions and stuff like that, but
Mm.
people wore masks. But you could take them off when you're at your table, but put it back on when you go to the bathroom water closet or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a weird time. Anyway.
Yeah. So, getting into recording, that your
Mm.
debut album's called Novel, and when did that come out? Is
So novel, oh gosh, I actually don't know when that was now.
that more than a decade ago now?
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Probably
got
about
some,
2015, I think. So I'd released some EPs and singles before that. And then my first album, yeah, I worked with Drew Hawley on that. Had UK soul legend Omar on one of the tracks.
yes.
And
Yes.
he's really established in the States as well because he's worked with like Stevie Wonder,
Wow.
Common, Angie Stowe, like it's nuts. So I was obviously honoured that he wanted to write with me and he produced the song and he was in the music video for that one. And then my second album, Renaissance, I released in 2022. And the funny story about that is the fact that I released an album called Renaissance in
Uh,
March, and then Beyonce released an album
oh
called
gosh.
Renaissance
She
in
didn't check with
July.
you? Come on.
So it's always been a running joke that she copied me, and
Right.
you know, but her album did quite a lot better than mine, surprisingly.
Yeah. Well, actual song titles can be reused. I mean, I think that gets around the whole copyright thing because we'd be in courts forever if we were like suing
Oh
each other
yeah.
for titles. It would be like
Oh, I mean,
so much
it's not
music out there.
exactly, and like there's other albums that exist before that that are called Renaissance,
Right.
so that's
Right.
yeah. I just thought it was more funny because also I'm a massive Beyonce fan, so it was
Oh yeah.
just yeah. I was
Yeah, she's
yeah
amazing. She easily sells out these arenas. You talk about arenas
mm,
or actual stadiums, which are even bigger,
stadiums, yeah,
60,000 plus. Oh my gosh.
and like for like 2 weeks solid, she plays in London like every night sold out, crazy.
Yes. I was working in production around the time that Michael Jackson announced that he was gonna do those tour dates at the O2 for
Oh
like
yeah.
but 60 dates or whatever or something like that. We were so excited. And I was working in the digital unit and I had to turn around his announcement that I was like, this is gonna be
Oh
amazing.
wow.
He's gonna get out there in front of that famous red backdrop and oh my gosh, Michael's just gonna have the speech of his life. He just gets out there, goes, "Oh, this is it," and just walks away. I'm like, this isn't even enough for me to turn around here. You're killing me. It's
Oh
so
dear. Yeah,
miss
because they were
Michael.
waiting for him for ages, weren't they? And then apparently he was drunk or a bit drugged up or something.
Yeah,
Or
he was in a lot of pain. I think it really
mm,
was that. And we lost Prince and Tom Petty and people like that to these drugs because they were in so much pain and it was easy access for them. I know Michael was just
mm.
really, honest doctor. The guy just like, it's Michael Jackson. I'm not going to say no. He's in
Well, this is
pain.
the issue, isn't it? Which is
Yeah.
why it feels really weird when responsibility and blame is put on the person
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
doesn't really have a choice but to do what these people say. Because yeah,
We had
it's
some
Michael
really
Jackson.
these people I grew up with. It's so depressing because they're all gone. Whitney Houston, Prince, Michael
Mm,
Jackson, Tom Petty. It's like, oh my gosh, like my growing up years, my formative years. This was like so big for me. It's soundtrack of
yeah,
our lives,
yeah.
definitely.
Oh, it's so sad. There's one of the people I interviewed for was it last series or the series before for the podcast, Harmony Samuels. He's actually British but lives in LA now,
Mm.
and he worked with Ariana Grande and lots of people. He worked with British artists first, and then he went over to the States. And anyway, he actually had a song for Whitney,
Oh gosh.
and um, I don't think she necessarily recorded it, but they played her the demo, and she loved it. And then obviously it wasn't, well, not obviously, but it wasn't that long before she passed away.
Mm.
And I asked him if, like, did they do anything with the song? Is it? And they just said, we don't want to. It almost feels like that was her song. And,
Mm.
it's, oh,
Yeah. And please don't let AI do it. I get so depressed over AI. It's like, oh my gosh, are we really going there? I know people are utilizing it. Even the Beatles did that. But gosh, somebody like with AI can create that kind of a song. I hope that doesn't really happen. That's very sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
she lived not too far from me here, or maybe it was part-time. She had a house not too far from here. I'm north of Atlanta in the suburbs here, and she was spotted around at malls are dying now these days, but she used to be spotted at a mall that I was always frequenting, and
Oh.
just so sad. It was just so exciting to know that such talent was like nearby, and her daughter lived even
Mm.
closer to me. Just all
Oh.
tragic, very
Yeah,
much.
it is.
So you have a wonderful new album out, and how did this come about? Because you did some crowdfunding to get this album going.
Yeah, so I did actually do a similar thing for my first album. Um, and I wasn't sure whether like I've still got the reach to, whether my kind of friends and family or, some fans that I've had for a while would, be interested in supporting. But it actually was really successful. And the idea was you could pre-order the album. So some people paid like the £5 to then get a digital copy when it was out. You could pay a bit more if you wanted a CD copy. Then there was extra prizes, or not prizes, but like perks. So a day in the studio with me. So four people chose that one.
Oh, cool.
We had a listening party and a VIP thing at the launch. So there was lots of, and honestly, I was overwhelmed by the support. Um, and it's actually quite a good way of kind of speaking about the album before it happened, because the album took longer than I had anticipated. So the crowdfunding thing started 2 years ago. So I was hoping to release last year, but I obviously was keeping people updated and just saying, I haven't forgotten. It's not like I've taken your money and then just ran away. Um, but yeah, and yeah, I'm just really grateful for the support. And now it's out. I've been getting some good responses. I've got vinyl copies on demand, which I've not done before with previous releases. And I'm actually thinking of putting my last two albums available on vinyl through this company, just because why not? You know,
Oh yeah. It's
just
beautiful. The artwork that goes with it, I'm sure is very nice too. That's something, folks, if you want to get the vinyl. It's just
yeah,
oh, I so miss that. I have a little collection. I know people who have walls and walls of vinyl, but
yeah.
it's hard when you move. Come on. I mean, it's like I had to pay the movers, $10,000 to move my vinyl. But yeah, it's that looks really great when you have good artwork with it. Your lyric sheets are in there. So yeah, that's a nice thing. And really, really a wonderful idea when you're doing all these things. Like you pay a certain amount, you could spend a day in the studio. Those are really nice things to do in the age of digital. It's a really nice
Mm.
thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was great. And then I had a big launch gig on the day of the release, which I sold out, which is cool. This lovely cabaret venue in North London. I had a whole band, backing vocals. I had a videographer there. It's like I said to my friends, it's like organising a wedding, doing a launch, because there's so many people to
Sure.
organise. I had a DJ, I wanted to make sure everyone was happy, and yeah, it
That
was
all goes
fun.
into producing. So you got those producing skills. It's about cobbling all that together and
Mm.
you're making it happen. But so why did you feel this one took a little bit longer? Were you aiming for perfection? Was it constant retakes? The new album's called On with the Show. And
Mm.
so what do you think? How long did it take really altogether?
Well, I think it was more just the songs. I was collaborating with several different producers, and life gets in the way for
Sure.
everybody. So I was waiting on a few kind of things with various people, but also didn't want to pressure them, because it was essentially my project, Um, and it took me a little while. I was going to have another one song on it, but I didn't get a chance to finish that. So then I just made the decision that I'd make it 10 tracks and not include that song, but maybe I'll finish it and release it as a single another time. But then obviously the mixing stage, yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily, I guess, well, I am a bit of a perfectionist, but yeah, you do have a bit of back and forth with when it comes to the production and the stuff, and some songs take longer to write than others, but yeah.
Yeah, some cool tracks on here too. Somebody
Thank
named
you.
Kinetic on here with there's a period between each letter,
There
Kinetic.
is.
It's a fun song, Friday night, and
Yeah.
just gets that vibe. And I love your sound effects at the beginning of that, just getting that
Oh, the crowd noise. That was us
yes.
like like in my old flat, just kind of making noise. So it's quite fun.
Just hold up the
That
mic. Yeah, you guys are
yeah,
making noise here on a Friday night.
exactly. No, I really loved writing that song, but also like lyrically, it's not kind of very deep, but it's a
Yeah.
fun one. And then on with the show, the title track. I'd that was one of the first songs of the new songs that I'd started writing, and it's I you probably hear from the lyrics, it's about how I feel about my music career. I've done it a long time, and it's lots of ups and downs, as
Hmm.
people are aware. But at the end of the day, I still love performing and recording and writing, so I don't wanna give up. So it's on with the show, and then I thought that's actually a good title for the whole album because it feels like a moment in my career, and yeah, so
Yeah, kind of autobiographical in that sense too. It's on with the show. I'm continuing, but there's more
here
to
I
come
go,
for sure.
still
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just, forward thinking. There are people who just like hang it up and say, okay, I've done enough. That's my last song. But
Yeah,
yeah, just keep on going. That's it's very impressive.
thank you.
And does this get a lot of streaming your material? Where do we find you the most? Do you find yourself being on YouTube a lot more with numbers if you even pay attention to that?
I
Or
probably should pay attention, but yeah, the distribution company I use, they basically put it out on all the digital platforms, including YouTube. I will have a music video soon for the title track, so obviously I'll be uploading that on my YouTube channel. Um, I'm trying to encourage people to buy the physical copies or download, but I'm also aware that some people just want to listen to it on Spotify or whatever. So I'd rather it be everywhere for people to access rather than like not gatekeeping it, but being too guarded.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you know what it's like. You don't
Oh,
get much
yeah.
money from streaming, but
Yeah.
majority of people I know use those platforms, so I want them to hear it, whether so
Yeah, and you could distribute so much easier digitally. That's the catch 22 with all of that. It's gosh,
mm,
it's you could haul it around wherever you're going, listen to it on the train. But yeah, that's true. You make pennies. It's not even really substantial. That's the frustrating part about that. But to be obsessed with
mm,
numbers and stuff like that, it's like you're an artist. So like, how do you balance that? It's business, but yeah, it's you've got art going on too. Those are strange bedfellows.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I I hate the promotion side of releasing stuff because that's the
Yeah.
bit that, as soon as something's out, you've then got to talk about it. And I I don't want to annoy people or people be like, oh, all right, shut up now. We know you've got a new album. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So, but it's about trying to reach new people, and that's why it's great doing podcasts like this because I do a lot of stuff within London and the UK, and actually there's a whole world out there I want to embrace. And yeah, I've actually, funny enough, aside from my artist project, I've been writing. I do a bit of writing for Sync, like production library stuff and TV and film, and I've been writing some K-pop stuff for some video
Oh,
games,
oh
which
wow,
may
cool.
or may not see the light of day, but it's completely different. It's really
Yeah.
fun to write. It's really so there you
Yeah.
go. It could be. Oh, although apparently I think they'd get translated into Mandarin if they did get chosen, so it wouldn't be my voice on the record, but it'd be my writing. So,
Yeah. Hey, it's another avenue, another income stream. You never know where it's gonna go, and you got to keep
mm,
your mind open. That's what I loved about David Bowie. David Bowie always embraced new things and reinvented himself all the time. It's such an inspiration. It's not even about even being in music or whatever, just in life. Somebody
mm.
like that is just such an inspiration and was just such a Renaissance guy. Talk about Renaissance. It was just really amazing. I just love seeing him. Then on the other side of it is like Sir Elton John, who sits there and gets obsessed with his popularity and numbers. It's like, how do you do that? You drive yourself crazy
Does
sitting
he?
there.
I didn't know that about him.
Oh yeah, if you see this documentary called Tantrums and Tiaras, that
Oh,
his
yes.
then boyfriend produced, and they caught Elton doing all these things. And it's like
Oh,
they
wow.
show him just obsessing over this was back in the late 90s, but like looking at Billboard charts. It's like you worry about all this stuff, you're so established. And it's like to this
Yeah.
day, it's like, oh, I drive myself crazy. It's like, art is art and just enjoy doing what you do.
Yeah. Mind you, I can imagine, like nowadays with record labels, because the music industry is so fickle and you have someone have a big hit and then they'll release something else and it doesn't do as well. And the label could just drop you
Yeah.
like a that's why I think I've kind of not given up on the idea of getting signed, but I just think I can play my own rule by my own rules. It didn't matter that I didn't release my album last year because it wasn't ready. I decided when I released it. I didn't have the pressure. And yeah, I don't know. I guess the kudos of a record label would be amazing, but
Yeah, you're
there's
not on that treadmill from the
mm,
A&R people, all that, just trying to have you get that music out, and you got to have an album out every year, and you just got to churn it out. And yeah, it's probably got to be way better to be independent, and you're not answering to the man. So it's like, and it's tough. And I'm sure, the different types of artists out there, anybody of color or female, it's always been harder. To try to break through and just have to have a gimmick to try to prove yourself. It's
mm.
just another layer, yeah, to try to break through.
And however people think it's not, this industry will always be quite sexist and male dominated
Yeah,
in who's making decisions, you know. Uh and yeah, it still feels like it matters what you look like as a female, as opposed
it's
to,
crazy. Yeah.
you know, you could be a guy who looks really grungy and is a bit older and has a beard and be in a
Yeah.
band, but actually still the female look, it's still like a thing that sells. And
So
I don't
true.
think that's going to change, unfortunately. It's kind of,
I know. I know.
mm,
Even to this day, you just see it. It's like these older white guys running a lot of things, whether it's, no matter what business it is.
yeah,
And as
yeah,
far as we've come, it's just like it's so hard to believe.
yeah.
You thought it was
Yeah.
like so hard back in the old days, but yeah, we're still up against those challenges. What is double standard though? It's like, yeah, it's true. A guy could be as grungy as possible, unkempt beard, flannel top, just really doesn't doesn't care about what he looks like. But yeah, people will pay to see that.
Although sometimes that's the twist. They're like, wow, how does this guy sing like that? And then it makes it seem like they're more their talent is it's like on like talent shows when they turn
Yeah.
around and they go,
Yeah.
wasn't expecting him to look like that. You know what I mean? It's almost like the stranger, or not the stranger you look, but the less conventional you look,
Hmm.
it makes it seem like your voice is even more of a I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
being cynical now, but
Yeah.
I'm just
You never
bitter.
know.
No, I'm fine. Maybe
That
I
is
should grow a
so true.
beard.
That's what you got to do to be popular. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, or do what Lady Gaga does at the piano and everything. Just kind of took Elton John's cue there and dressed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
I
funky
like Lady
look.
Gaga. Like
Oh
I'm
my
not
gosh.
it's not necessarily my kind of music, but I think she's brilliant. I think she's a really talented songwriter and really hardworking,
Oh yeah.
and musically, her piano skills and everything. And yeah, she really deserves her success. She's worked really hard for it.
Yeah,
And
yeah. You put those 10,000 hours in, which
mm,
basically you got that since you were almost born. So it's like,
well,
it comes second nature. You could do it in your sleep. It's just, do you find yourself singing in the car and in closed spaces, just trying to hear how your voice sounds just whenever, just break out when you're alone?
well, living in London, we don't have a car
Yeah.
because, but in the shower a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Great
Yeah,
acoustics, isn't it? It's
exactly.
like do it there. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if I did have a car, yes, I would be singing
That's
along
true. Yeah.
to the
I wouldn't
radio.
want a car in London, to be honest.
You'd literally just be stood still the whole time in traffic jam, so it's just pointless.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is one of the worst places to drive. I didn't think about that. It's like I wouldn't drive
Yeah,
in New York either. It's just awful. Just
yeah, Can't imagine that.
Terrible. It's bad enough here in Atlanta. Even if I get into crowded areas, it's like I don't want to be in my car. I want to be on foot. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, because you'd probably be quicker.
Actually, yeah, very much. Very, very
Mm.
much. Wow. Yeah. Great tracks on her. 10 tracks on the new album. I love your backing vocals on this one track called Red Flags.
Oh, thanks.
Did you audition people you just knew,
Oh,
people
it's all
yourself?
me. It's
It's
all
just
me.
you masking tracking yourself.
Yeah,
Love that.
I love like arranging harmonies and recording them because
Well,
there's
that's
always
wild.
I always do the
Yeah.
like obvious ones, and then there's always like a one that is like not the obvious thing, and then it just works and it kind of puts it all together. I had a lot of fun doing that one. I had, like I said, I had backing vocalists on my launch night, so it was really nice to actually
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
have
Live.
that. Obviously, in an ideal world, I'd have a whole choir because there's so many backing vocals on my tracks. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I always do a low one, so it probably doesn't sound like it's me. But there's like the yeah,
Yeah,
it's
pull that
it's
off well. I mean, it's fascinating to
thanks.
be able to do that. It really is, just to
Thank you.
give it that richness. You have a song intersection, and in parentheses, Hannah's song. What's the story behind
Yeah.
Hannah's song?
So I realise actually intersection's quite an American term because we don't really use
Right.
it in um here, but I just liked
Hmm.
the idea of it. But yeah, Hannah was a dear friend of mine I went to uni with and lived with for years
Oh,
after
nice.
uni. We had this amazing house. It was like the cheapest rent in London, but it was like falling apart. But it was just full of like she was a writer, as in like theatre writer, and then also like TV stuff. And there was other musicians in the house. Like basically everyone was really creative. It was just lovely. And yeah, she sadly passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, sorry, dear.
And I kind of wrote a few things down at the time, and then I wasn't really sure whether I should record a song. I felt like more would the people that we were in the same circles with, I didn't know whether they'd find it a bit much or too upsetting. So I didn't tell anyone.
Mm,
And obviously time is a healer, so we talk about it in a very kind of obviously a
mm,
sad way still, but it's it wasn't until I released it that when I messaged the group, because we've got a WhatsApp group, I said, "Oh, by the way, there's a song on the album I wrote about Hannah.
mm.
I don't know, you might not want to listen to it, but just thought I'd let you guys know." And everyone replied and just said it was lovely and they thought the sentiment was great. But yeah, I didn't want to make it a big deal, which is why it's kind of like an album track. But hopefully, it's a good dedication to her. And
Yeah.
when I did it live, because I did it for the first time live at the launch, and yeah, pretty much held it together. But right at the end, I did nearly cry. So
Oh,
yeah, and there was a few friends there, obviously, that knew her, so it was also quite hard, kind of singing it in front of them. But yeah,
very
but yeah, it means a
emotional.
lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
plays very well on the album. Your orders, obviously, it seems like a lot of thought was gone into that as far as how you ordered that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? Because a lot of people don't listen to albums in order on digital platforms, but it still feels like a decision. And I knew I wanted to start with On With the Show because I felt like
yeah,
it's a good, it makes sense, right, lyrically,
right.
on with the album. And I also knew that I wanted to end with All For You because it was the first single from the album, and I wanted to end with an upbeat song. So it was just then putting the others together and having a bit of light and shade and
Hmm,
making it feel like it made sense. Who knows? Maybe it would have worked in the other order. But
hmm.
yeah, and thank you for noticing though. That's really
Yeah,
kind.
absolutely. And you do your own podcast. Speaking of podcasts, how long have you been doing the Songwriters Podcast?
So that was a thing that started before the pandemic, actually.
Yeah.
So so my producer Bernard, he's an amazing audio production producer. He's worked in radio and stuff. He's now award winning with his company. So proud of him. We thought of the concept of doing a podcast where we talk to songwriters about songs they've written, and then and the concept is they're not necessarily people as in they're not household names themselves, but they're behind songs that are like massive hits. So we put together a bit of a wish list and also who we also knew between us, because we've both worked in music for a long time. And we did the very first interview with Michelle Escoffrey
Hmm.
um, in real life.
Oh,
And
wow.
then
Yeah.
when I mean, obviously you can get a rapport online, but it's always nicer in
Oh my
person, right?
gosh. I
When you're
wish I could
speaking
do
to
it in
people.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. But then when the pandemic hit, we were like, well, actually, we could do this remotely because the guests we're getting are all songwriters and producers. They've got recording equipment at home. They've all got mics and studios. We could actually, I guess it was before technology was a bit more sophisticated with recording on Zoom or whatever, with no delay or whatever. But we actually recorded our end properly through like Logic and stuff, and then they record, and then my producer would edit it together and add little song clips and stuff. But actually, it's kind of worked out quite well because during the pandemic, everyone was so free because nothing was happening. So we were actually able to get some really high profile guests because they had nothing else to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because it was remote, so we weren't asking too much of them, to travel or give up too much of their time. So we did quite a lot remotely. And then after the pandemic, we've obviously done a few more series. And I guess because of the momentum of the first one, it then attracts more people because people are like, oh, what's that? I want to do that. Because
Mm.
so and so said yes to it, maybe I should. And now we always give the option we can do it remotely, or we could book a studio or come to your studio. And the last series, we had Fraser T. Smith, who has produced a lot of British, like really. He's also worked with Adele. I feel like everyone I've interviewed has worked with Adele. He's anyway. We
Yeah.
got
Your
to go to.
degrees of separation there.
Oh, exactly. But we got to go to his amazing studio outside of London to do, and he's got Grammys on the wall and all his platinum
Cool.
discs, and but it's just really nice. And then you can get some video content as well. But yeah,
Nice.
so
Nice.
sorry, I've just gone off on a tangent.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's doing the podcast. It's always exciting and meeting people from all over the world, including you. So,
Yay.
yeah, I appreciate you stopping by here, talking about the latest album. You get it wherever you can get your music. I listened on Amazon Music, so you're
Ah.
streaming there as well as Spotify and all these other platforms. So you get it just about anywhere.
You
Yeah.
you literally can.
Yeah, and your website is your name as well.
Yeah, just louisegolbey.com. And yeah, there's links to everything there and like past releases and obviously music videos and stuff. I do like to dance, so often in my music
Cool.
videos, I just use it as an excuse to dance.
So you like doing music videos because a lot of artists are like, ah, enough with music and performing and traveling and all that. Now I got to do videos. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's a lot. I don't do it for every song. I mean, I just wouldn't be able to afford to, but it's fun when you do it. It's nice to have
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Those are fun music videos. Great to see there on YouTube as well. So
Thank
everywhere
you.
you can go and get this stuff. It's really, really fantastic. I appreciate you stopping by.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you, and thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you as well. Have a
All
good
right.
one and best wishes.